bottle, it's normally the story that comes with that. Sometimes you laugh, sometimes you cry, sometimes you just remember some good shit. Welcome to the Bottom of the Bottle podcast.
What's going on, good people? We back in the building. It is February 23rd, 2022. This is the Bottom of the Bottle podcast, and this is the Hump Day Happy Hour. I am Joe Walker III, the host, and my other half, Carolina 803. What's happening with you?
Ain't shit what's going on this Hump Day Wednesday.
Hey, man, look. Living for the weekend, like we always say, trying to get through it, have a little drink, have a little interesting conversation. This week we are bringing Miss Octavia to the building. Miss Octavia is a cigar aficionado. As a matter of fact, let's go ahead and welcome. Good evening, Miss Octavia. How are you today?
So something is happening with the audio. I can't understand you. It sounds strange. Sorry.
Oh no. Carolina, what do you sound like? Give her a mic check.
Yeah, I can't hear it all. I'm gonna put it in the chat. I can't hear you guys at all. It's strange. I'm sorry.
No worries.
I'm gonna try to leave and come right back.
Okay.
So, as you do this thing that we trying to do here, man, it's gonna happen. We having some technical issues that we haven't had before, but we're gonna try to ride it out and provide y'all a good show, man. Again, Octavia is a cigar aficionado, so I got a lot of questions. I've, partaken in the stogies. My brother was on stogies for a good little portion of time. So if there's something that we can learn, that's what we gonna do here. Y'all know how we do. We cut up sometimes, and sometimes we learn some new shit. So what's going on with you, man? How you feel about the All-Star game?
Shit, I ain't watched that shit.
It was kind of trash, wasn't it? It was kind of trash.
It was all the way trash. I ain't watching.
I thought the game was good. I thought the game itself was good, but the dunk contest was definitely trash. Dunk contest was definitely trash.
Back.
Is this better?
Yes, perfect.
Oh, thank you.
So
man.
we don't sound like aliens no more?
You sounded like, how Alvin and the Chipmunks, how they talking like the chipmunk voice? It was like that.
Big ass chipmunks, man.
I'm about to tell you, cuz I've never been accused of a high-pitched voice.
We're all good now.
Well, no, welcome Octavia at her aficionado. Is that how you say it?
Her aficionado.
Her aficionado.
Thank you.
It's a lot of syllables.
It is. It is. I think that when I was thinking about my name, I didn't think about dang, are people going to be able to say it? Are they going to be able to spell it? But those are afterthoughts, though, right?
That's the beauty of a name, though. Because if you got a product that that people want, they'll learn.
That's true. That is absolutely
Indeed.
true. Thank you guys for having me.
Indeed. Nah, thank you for coming in to join us, man. Look, we start this segment off, or we start this show off with what we call first call. First call is 10 rapid fire questions. I get 5. My brother gets 5. There's no right or wrong answer, anything like that. It's just kind of like a pulse check. Let people know a little bit about you without letting them know too much.
All right.
So, more aggravating, obnoxious laughter or people that don't know how to say words?
Obnoxious laughter.
Yeah, because I can't say shit.
Meanwhile,
I read books.
Have an obnoxious laugh.
I think obnoxious. I've learned. I used to have an issue, but what I learned is if it's funny, it's just funny. You know what I'm saying?
That's true.
Indeed. Water parks or amusement parks? I guess same difference, but with water, without.
Water parks.
Okay. I like this question. More irritating, sharing the last of your favorite snack or treat, or being interrupted in the bathroom?
Being interrupted in the bathroom.
Yeah.
I have a sick. It's like everyday life for me right now.
Okay. I can dig it. Favorite automobile you have ever owned?
Ooh. Probably the first one. The first vehicle, of course. I was in high school and I had I think it was called a Spectrum or Spectra or something like that.
Spectra?
That wasn't my favorite, but it's like the first time you get
the one that stands out.
Man, this is amazing.
I'm free.
Yeah, I'll say that one.
That called Lee Little right there. That was the kid's Spectra. That thing was Lee Little.
My last question, and this is about ego. What would your superpower be?
Ooh, my superpower. My superpower. Reading minds. I think that I'm very intuitive, so I can kind of see people very deeply beyond the surface. So I would say reading minds.
I like it. That's my 5.
Alright, so my 5 is going to be your favorite cast member from Different World.
Whitley, of course.
Come on, man. You got to pick somebody. Alright, I'm fucking.
Whitley, that's it. She was everything for me. I love Whitley.
Alright, your favorite toy store growing up?
Toy store?
Yeah.
Toys R Us?
That's cool. You know, people forget about KB Toy Store. KB Toy Store used to be a store, man.
I definitely forgot about that.
See?
I definitely forgot about that. That was old school. Old
That's
school.
old. Well, damn, hold up now.
Yes.
Come on now. Come on, read my mind. Don't call me old.
Hey, well, I must be kind of old too because I remember it. So
She immediately remembered.
Yeah, she did. You know, you gotta throw it out there. All right, what smell triggers your memories the most?
That's good. Funnel cakes. I used to work at an amusement park, and I worked in like the ice cream shop, and we also made funnel cakes, and so like that was like summers, like that was like every summer, and so it's like it just brings back all those summer memories, like back in high school, and that was just like a fun time. So definitely that's one of them for sure. Funnel cakes.
Okay. Side question. This ain't part of it. What's the difference between a funnel cake and an elephant hill? Nothing.
Well, a funnel cake is like you can kind of break it apart. An elephant ear is kind of like one big flat situation. Yeah.
Okay. You broke it down.
Yes.
All right. So, do you rather use oils, grease, or lotion?
Oils.
All right. And I'll say, since you are a cigar connoisseur and all that, what's your favorite incense smell?
My favorite what?
Incense smell. Incense.
I don't have one. I don't know, frankincense.
No, all right. We got to get to a real question.
Like I don't use incense. I don't know.
Okay, we hold on. Let me think of something else. And okay, I just thought of a favorite soda.
Favorite soda?
Yeah.
Well, I don't drink soda, but
Well, God, no, hold on. All right.
I don't drink soda, but no. But I do like ginger ale. Because at least ginger ale has like soothing properties.
Well, how about this? What's your go-to meal at the Waffle House?
I just went to Waffle House last night. I literally just look, I went to a friend's birthday party and I'm like, damn, I didn't cook today. I don't have anything at the house to eat. And I was like, Waffle House, I gotta go to Waffle. It's like 11 o'clock, nothing else was open. So I get hash browns with mushrooms and onions and peppers, and that's it.
Okay, that was first call. You took a while, but all right.
I passed.
That Waffle House don't miss nobody, cause I don't care. Waffle House don't miss nobody. That's awesome.
Too.
I agree. It saved my life more than once.
I'm sure.
Like we always say, it's only good between like midnight and 4 in the morning.
Oh, that's it. That's it. I don't even know how they're even open during the day because who's going to Waffle House in the daytime?
I'll go for lunch.
Do you?
Hash browns for lunch.
The hash browns is cheap, man. You can always go in there and get hash browns, and it's hard to mess them up.
Yeah.
Hey, you know, I had a question in the group the other day. Tell me if y'all can feel this question.
Come on with it.
There's 2 parts to it.
Okay.
Why don't other restaurants put the Bojangles seasoning on their fries for one? And for 2, why don't they put the seasoning on the bow round?
It might be because it's proprietary. That's why other restaurants don't do it. Why they don't do it? Maybe it hadn't occurred to them. It's good seasoning though.
Yeah, think about that. What if they put that seasoned salt on them bow rounds?
They might be good. Bow rounds is kind of hefty, and I'm a player guy, but kind of hefty. I'm not a yeah. So, Octavia, you are here, and we know of you because of your business. Your business is cigars, stogies. It is not a lane that we would think to see a lot of females in. Yeah. So what drew you to that business?
Well, honestly, I wasn't really drawn to the business until like much later after I started smoking cigars. I started smoking cigars, I don't know, 13, 14 years ago. And I was introduced by a guy. He took me on a date to a cigar lounge. I'm like, what the hell am I doing here? This is weird. I was young. I was really young, so it was just really strange to me. But the longer I kind of sat there, I was like, this is kind of like cool. Like, I was like, I liked the atmosphere. It felt very like, at the time, again, I'm young, like felt very mature, just very different from what I had kind of been exposed to at that point. But at that time, I mean, there were even fewer women than there are right now involved in that space. And so when I would go to a lounge or something like that, and luckily I live in Atlanta, and so we have like literally 100 shops and lounges here. So we're very spoiled in that way. But so when I was kind of trying to like, find my way in and out of this thing, it didn't feel very welcoming to me. It was kind of like either it's condescending and they're talking to me like I'm a fucking 10-year-old child, or it was like the cat calling and kind of like disrespectful in that way. Because, at the end of the day, I'm walking into an establishment that's like, if not 100%, at least 95% men, and here I am, this young girl, and I'm a very, feminine woman. And so I'm in my dresses and my heels and my makeup and hair and all that. And so I'm walking into this place, kind of like walking into the lion's den. And so it was just very, very intimidating. It wasn't very welcoming. It didn't feel good. And so I actually ended up kind of stepping back from the social aspect of it. And I was literally like kind of on my journey learning about cigars kind of on my own, because I really didn't feel comfortable going anywhere, right? And so that kind of went on for several years. I'm at the pool smoking my cigars. I'm at the nightclub smoking cigars. They're like, who is this little girl with these cigars? Like, it's weird, Like, can you imagine, at 20-something and just got this girl in the club, like, with a cigar? It's just, like, unheard of, especially back then. And so, anyway, so fast forward to 2016, a friend of mine had opened up a cigar lounge and we had been doing some events and stuff like that. And I was like, I can probably bring something to this space, you know what I mean? Because at this point, at this point, I'm still younger than most of the typical cigar smoker, right? So I'm like, I've spent the last, however many years, out in clubs and doing this and going to these really nice events and so on and so forth. Why don't I bring that feel to the cigar space? Do you know what I mean? Because prior to what I had experienced, it was literally like very stiff, very conservative, very like intimidating, again, especially for a beginner, especially for a woman. And so for me at that point, I was literally like, I'm just going to start doing these events. I didn't even think of it as a business. Like, no lie, I didn't think of it as a business at all. I didn't even get paid probably the first like 4 events that I did. I started with an event called She Smokes Too. And probably like the first 4, I didn't get paid a dime for it. I didn't charge anything. I wasn't whatever. Because I really just wanted to bring something to that space that I didn't necessarily see before. They always say, if you don't see it, sometimes you have to build it. And that's kind of how it got started, and just kind of spiraled from there. But that was the beginning, 2016.
What was your first cigar?
I don't know, probably a Java or something, flavored cigar, I'm sure, was probably the first one. And then after that, like I said, I was kind of on my own. And so there was one called a Perdomo Champagne anniversary cigar. And that was like the first like non-flavored one that I liked. And so I was like, okay, I'll try this one. And that was literally like my go-to like 5 years.
Okay.
Like I wouldn't smoke anything else, but yeah.
What did you find out in the way of trying to grow this space for women? Because, like you said, it's definitely like it's upper echelon activity. It's kind of, male-dominated power space. You always see the old wrinkly guy with the big, pimp ring and the cigar. So, what did you find out on your journey to like introduce this or bring women into that space?
So for me, it was really like and let me back up just a hair. So with the She Smokes 2 event, what really made it different than like what had kind of been done before is that I was really bringing the cigar lounge to my world, to my space. And so it was like, I'm doing it at nightclubs. I'm doing it at the flyest lounges in Atlanta. Places where these people who are just smoking cigars, they've never even seen or heard of these places, right? And we all know like it's a totally different vibe from a cigar lounge, and let's just say like, the most popular lounge in your city, right? It's a totally different vibe. The music is different, the atmosphere is different. Do you know what I mean? Depending on how much money they spent on the layout, it's completely different experience. And so when I did that, it was, first of all, it was easy for women to come because it was like, oh, well, this is just a party. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
Which was intentional on my part because I wanted it to feel like this is just a mingling, night out, whatever have you. It's not even about just the cigar. The cigars are going to be there. I'm going to be able to introduce you to the cigars. I'm going to be able to teach you how to cut and light and smoke and whatever have you. But I think that once the women started coming, the men follow.
Automatic.
Of course.
The men follow. So like literally, like I said, I wasn't getting paid those 4 months, those first like 4 events, 4 months. But I'm taking pictures. I'm recording. I'm on Instagram. By the time I had an Instagram account, I'm posting everything. So now people are seeing it and they're like, oh, what is this? It's just different. So for me, and I went all that way to say that for me, it was literally about, listen, I'm doing what I do best and I'm staying true to who I am. And I'm bringing y'all over here to my space. And it started out with 15 people. You know what I mean? 15 people in a room. We just looking at each other. You know what I mean? But eventually, I mean, when I look at like maybe my 6-month mark and my 1-year anniversary, I mean, it's 400 or 500 people there. Do you know what I mean? And so for me, it was really just all about staying true to who I am, performing at a high level, keeping the quality in check. And those people that appreciate those things are going to come. So, yeah.
What was the first rule that somebody taught you, and what's the first rule that you'll teach somebody else?
Rule about like cigars or?
Well, about how you started. Like if somebody else wants to start the same journey you did somewhere else.
Oh yeah.
They've never had a cigar before. They don't know what to try type thing.
Yeah, I mean, so it's really just, I mean, and I mean, I think that was another thing that came with also just being a woman in a space. So obviously, if it's a woman in a space, my advice is definitely to, like know what you're like, know your cigars. You know what I mean? Like actually know what you're talking about. You can't just kind of jump into a space and be like, hey, I'm going to do this, but you literally have done no research, no homework. You haven't tried anything, you haven't anything. And so it's really just about educating yourself because as a woman, they're already, look at me. They already going to look at me and assume she don't know what she's talking about. She doesn't smoke cigars. They're automatically going to assume that, right? Because I don't look like what your average cigar smoker looks like. And so for me, it was like, and I've definitely been tried like on more than one occasion, like at my own events, like people trying to test me, and I'm like, bro, you at my event, like what are you talking about right now? You know what I mean? But luckily for me, like I actually know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna put back to this and all that. But yeah, so it's really just about doing your homework yeah, and being creative, you know what I mean? And I think that's with any space. Like, I think that people kind of have this idea where they see someone doing something and they're like, oh, I want to do that, but they're literally trying to copy and paste it.
Yeah.
But it's like, you can't do what I do because I'm always going to be first and you're always going to be second or elsewhere. Like, you have to figure out your own kind of like lane within that lane.
Yeah.
Right.
So that time with 15 people in there, were you motivated at the end knowing only 15 people showed up? And
I was ecstatic.
What did y'all smoke? Did y'all all smoke the same thing, or everybody brought something different?
No, actually, I had a cigar sponsor. It was actually like a very small, like, boutique brand, and they sponsored the event. So they were like giving away cigars to all the ladies. It was called PDR Cigars, and then so that was that. And I had like a liquor sponsor. I think like Hendrick's Gin sponsored that first one or something like that. And they were giving out free drinks, so it was a nice way to even just invite people because I had free stuff to give away. People love free,
right?
But it did motivate me because, again, like, listen, you have to remember at that time I'm not even thinking about monetizing this. I'm literally just like, oh, I just want to do this little thing socially, because before I kind of came onto the scene, there really weren't women. There were women that were in the cigar industry, of course. There were women. There was probably one like main cigar influencer, and she's still around. She's really big in the cigar space. But there weren't really any women doing like events to the level that I ended up doing them at, right? So I really didn't have like a blueprint of, oh, I want to be like her, I want to be like her, I want to do what she's doing. I didn't have that. Like, it didn't really exist on that same level. And so I really just went in humbly, like, I just want to do this thing that's just fun, and just because I wanted to be able to help women who might be interested in cigars. I was never trying to encourage people to smoke, but it's like, okay, I know that there's probably some women out there that have been introduced to the cigar, but they don't know, and they're nervous and they're intimidated or whatever, just like I was. So I want to create a space that is safe for them to come in and ask questions and look stupid and smoke it wrong and do all these and make your mistakes here. It's safe here.
Right.
I got you.
But
so that's kind of what it was for me at first.
It's like I'm somewhat of a liquor connoisseur.
Okay.
I've tried a lot of liquor, especially bourbon and whiskey. But before I got into that, I go to the store and I'd be like, I would always buy 2 bottles of liquor. I buy one bottle I knew, one bottle I didn't know, until I poured my own palate. After I did that, I was able to direct certain people to what they want. They'd be like, hey, I got this much money, but I want to do this, and this. And I was able to push them. But I had to first come to myself and say, I don't know nothing, and be willing to learn. And that's what it sounded like you did. Like, you actually just took the time, like, you liked it, but you took the time to form your own palate and figure out which lane you want to go. And then you magnified that by learning on that specific. Like, you may not know everything, but you know a certain corner of it where, like you said, if a guy tests you, it's like, you got to make yourself look bad.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, but I actually love what you just said about when you go to the store and you buy one bottle that you're familiar with and one bottle that you're unfamiliar with. I love that. I will probably use that when people are, because people always ask, well, what should I smoke? What would you like? But if you don't know, then you're really just trial and error at this point. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, try one that you're familiar with. So even, hey, cheers. That was good. Right. I like it.
Well, that's what I did last week. I did that last week. I've never heard of it. It looked smooth. I looked it up, read 2 comments, and bought it.
That's good. I like that. I'm going to use that for sure. Thank you.
Yeah, it's already for birthday.
Anything, you got to take your chances because it's definitely a wide open space. So, what can you tell me about like origins or flavors when it comes to cigars?
I mean, so I think that one of the things that your supporters who are probably tuned in, I think that a lot of people that don't necessarily smoke cigars or aren't too familiar with it, I think that one of the common misconceptions, and I think that this is probably a more targeted, like a better answer for your question, right? So when people think about cigars, it's like, oh, is it a Cuban? Is it a Cuban? I want a Cuban cigar. Is it Cuban? Cubans are the best. Cubans are not necessarily the best cigars, right? So cigars, while that is obviously the origin, cigars are grown in Cuba. They're grown in Dominican Republic, Nicaragua, so many different places. And so, and it's one of those things that on your journey to kind of like discovering what I like, you'll find some factors that are similar between regions, right? So Cuban cigars are going to be a little bit more full. They're going to be a little bit more peppery, right, to the palate. You might go to another region and it's going to be a little bit smoother, right, of a smoke. And so it's really just about kind of like, and a lot of what a lot of people will do is they will have like a journal. You know, there's actually journals like just for cigars, but you can write in your notepad, whatever, your notes. And it's like, okay, I smoked this cigar today. I'm gonna write down the name of it, or I'm gonna keep the band or whatever. And you're gonna then go look it up later and say, okay, cool, this is from Nicaragua. This is the profile of the cigar. And then when you go smoke another cigar, you're gonna say, okay, this one was Nicaraguan too, and I definitely felt some synergy between the two, or some similarities between the two. And so it's really just about kind of like testing them, and really like after you smoke the cigars, you're reading to find out where did this originate, where was this made, and finding similarities and finding things that you like about each region, because they all kind of have their own specific characteristics.
Indeed.
I heard I went to a cigar lounge. It was in the mall somewhere in Charlotte some years ago. It was at the bottom of the mall, and it was the only thing open downstairs, and it was this door, and it just looked like an old antique shop from the outside looking in. So you walk in, and it's laid out like a cigar room. They got the leather couches, they got the bar, they got all this. So a white man comes in, he was like, can I help you, older white man? I was like, nah, I'm just being nosy, tell you the truth. I was like, I've heard about the cigar life, but I don't know nothing about it. And he went on this 45-minute to an hour, and I was trying to get out, and he wouldn't let me out. But he broke down like the most expensive cigars have probably been touched by one person. Like the least amount of people that touch a cigar matters on the price. He told us about the lockers and the robes and the atmosphere, and I always call it fraternity cigars as a fraternity, because only certain people do it, certain people love it. And if you love it, you love it. It's not like you're just doing it for the show.
Sure.
But this old white man, he broke it down, and ever since then, I've always been interested in him, to the point where I'm always telling that story. But still,
yeah. I mean, there's definitely a culture, and I this is what I think is really cool about it right now in 2022, right? So, you have this thing, you know what I mean, where it's just really evolved so much, right? From its inception to, like I said, 2022. And obviously, like what you're talking about, obviously that's the more traditional cigar experience. It's definitely more of an elevated, more upscale, so to say, a more high net individual is kind of involved in it. And so that's kind of like the traditional, that's kind of the traditional thought that people think about when they think about cigars, right? However, now it's definitely a lot more, it's a lot more broad. It's a lot more inclusive, I think, which I think is a good thing. Because, like I said, look how I was treated 13 years ago. I can't imagine 25 years ago, 30 years ago. Do you know what I mean? I wouldn't even be here right now at all. One, I'm a Black person and I'm a Black woman, and I wouldn't have been able to kind of gain the traction that I've gained here back then, because it just wasn't really a thing. That was an old white man sport. We weren't really, we smoked them after a while, but we had the cheap cigar, the little $2 cigar.
Tampa Nugget.
You know what I mean? It wasn't
Black and mild.
Like that's just what it was. Do you know what I mean? Black people, we weren't really as into the culture at that time as we are right now. Right now, please, I can talk to anybody that comes to my events or that supports me, and they're smoking whatever he's smoking.
Yeah.
Right.
In bulk. They're buying, they're spending hundreds, thousands of dollars a month on cigars. Like, you know what I mean? It's not a cheap thing. But I'm just happy that now there's still just a wide range of people that are like involved in it now. It's women, it's men, it's people of all races, which is beautiful. You know what I mean? And since I've kind of been on social media, I've just met people from all over the world, literally men and women, that I never would have been able to meet any other way. And it's all because of cigars. I call it the great connector.
Do you want it to be global, or do you want it to stay kind of where it's at, where certain people can enjoy it? Because
No, no,
once the market gets it,
yeah, I believe that culture is meant to be shared, not hoarded, and I say that all the time. I mean, I'm very inclusive, um, you know, simply because how does a thing grow if it
yeah,
stays this tiny? Do you know
yeah,
what I mean? It can't grow that way, and I think that cigars are too precious of a thing. It's an art form. You know, you have people that are out in these factories and they're working from dusk to dawn, you know what I mean,
yeah,
sitting there hand rolling cigar. It's a handmade product. Do you know what I mean? And so it's like I feel like that should be shared by as many people as possible. I think that, you know, I now listen, I'm a curator, right? I do events, I curate events. So there are times that I love a good exclusive invite only situation. If
yeah.
you're not, you know, invited, you can't come. I love a good situation like that. But as a whole, no, nah,
Right.
I don't like it.
So
I
what's
call
the
that cigar snobs. I don't like it.
so what's the beginning? Do you need a good? So when you first getting into it, do you got to get a good light? You got to get a good lighter. How important is the lighter, or the cut
Well,
first? The cut first, then the lighter. How important are they?
yeah, so the cut is definitely first, which, you know, luckily, like, you know, they have tools now. You can get your whole little kit together, which is basically a cutter and a lighter. Like, that's really a cutter, lighter, a humidor, although you can kind of play around with the humidor. If y'all are going on vacation, I know it's people kind of itching to get back outside. Yes, I'm going to tell this to you guys. If you guys are going on vacation, you're going to Jamaica, you're going to Cuba, you go, not Cuba, but Puerto Rico, whatever, you're going somewhere and you're finding these cigars in other places and you're bringing them back home and you don't have a humidor because maybe you don't smoke cigars like that. Get you a little Tupperware, something, it has to be airtight. Get you a Tupperware, get you a gallon of distilled water, it's like 99 cents from the store. Get like a shot glass, put your shot glass in the Tupperware, put your cigars in there, you're good for a little while because
Let
you
me
have
like
to keep them moisturized. The
It's a pretty
cutter,
gangster hat.
huh?
That's a pretty gangster hat.
Yeah, so they have to be humidified at a certain temperature, at a certain level of moisture to keep them fresh because otherwise you're going to open up the box and it's going to be
It's
crispy and it's
brittle.
going to fall apart. But as far as getting started, yeah, so like I said, the humidor can wait, but a nice cutter lighter, you can get those for $10 on Amazon starting out. I swear, people that I know right now have plenty of money to spend. They will buy the $10 lighter on Amazon because, first of all, we cigar smokers have a tendency to steal lighters. That's the first thing.
All smokers have a
be a lot of
tendency to
things.
steal
Cigarette
lighters.
smoking, cigarette
And I,
smoking.
and I swear, for some reason, the expensive lighters will go out on you in a minute, and you'd be like, "I paid $200. Like, how is it out? It looks good, but give me the $10 one because that works just as well."
Well, I seen some people
Okay.
with the torches.
Huh?
I've seen people with the torch lighters.
Yeah, the torch. Yeah, and these are torches. I mean, so yeah, you definitely want to get a torch, which is a butane lighter. You don't want to get the regular, even though some people do smoke with the regular Bic lighter with the soft flame. Some people do prefer that, but the majority of cigar smokers are definitely going to use a butane lighter, which is the torch, as you stated. You can do a single flame, a triple flame. I mean, there's just a variety of them, but yeah, that's definitely going to give you a nice even light because the light is definitely the most important part of your smoking experience. Is just getting that even light.
So let me ask. So going back to the younger you that was in a space that was a little bit intimidating. What in that? I mean, I understand you saying that it made you feel mature, but what else was it? Do you think that drew you into that culture?
It was really like it was the atmosphere. It was there was just something about the space that made me feel like, okay, I can kind of do a little business here. I can kind of meet some people here. It's the people, like the
Right.
people that I've met in these cigar spaces. I mean, it's like unheard of. You know what I mean? And I would just see like people having business meetings and this. And again, I'm young. I don't know shit about business at this point. You know what I mean? But it felt like this is where I need to be if I want to meet some people that are of a certain quality. And that was like the main thing about it was really just that. obviously, as I kind of got more into the education of the cigars, now you have the rituals. So that's, obviously the cutting, the lighting, the long matches, the cedar strips, like all these different rituals that we have, with the cigars, just the art form of it itself was obviously attractive, but then that came after the fact, because at first I didn't know anything about that. I'm just here. So I see the people,
Right.
and then it's the rituals and just the art of cigar, and just being able to really appreciate that, and really just wanting to share that after several years of just being by myself. I'm like, no, I have something that I have that I can bring to this space as well. So yeah, it was that.
So how did you get or start Atlanta Cigar Week? And how does that compare to, I see you promote Dubai Cigar Week. So which one's bigger? How did you get started in Atlanta, and which one's bigger?
Well, Atlanta Cigar Week is bigger. So basically, Atlanta Cigar Week started in 2017. My partners and I really just wanted to kind of like showcase Atlanta to the cigar community. It's actually like one of the larger markets in the country. Although when you think about Atlanta, you don't think about cigars. So if you were on the outside looking in, you wouldn't necessarily think that that was the case. But like I said, we have 100 plus cigars in shops, shops and lounges, I'm sorry, which is by far more than like any other major city. Most places have a handful of places they can kind of go to. So anyway, with that being said, we really just wanted to kind of like showcase that to, the world really. And so it kind of started out like as a bar crawl, for lack of a better word. I mean, we had 7 days, and we were literally just kind of going from lounge to lounge, cigar lounge to cigar lounge. I just completed year 5. So just kind of jumping forward. I mean, we're in some of the most beautiful places in the city. We did an event at the W rooftop, the Four Seasons rooftop, not to mention a lot of the cigar lounges, some of the largest nightclubs in the city, and we're packing them out, you know what I mean? And so we had a reception house that one of our sponsors sponsored for the entire week, where people could literally come eat a gourmet meal. We had a new gourmet chef every afternoon. I'm sorry. People come. These are VIPs, of course. They would come, have a meal, have free drinks, have free cigars. Literally, we had a huge humidor closet. You walk in and grab whatever cigars you want, whatever you want to drink, whatever you want to eat. And so that's kind of like what it has grown to at this point. It's really just a big festival that's, like I said, 7 days long, probably about 21, 22 events, something like that, in like 7 days. And so, yeah, it really was just that. It was just, let's show everybody what Atlanta is and what we have to offer, and, show them our creativity, because myself and both my Atlanta Cigar Week partners are all very, very creative. So we literally think about like the most outlandish things we can do, and we figure out how to do it. You know what I mean? Like, we just figure out how to do it. One of the cool things we did last summer, it was called Behind Closed Doors, and this was actually before Atlanta Cigar Week. So it was kind of like one of those like kind of teasers just leading up to that, because Cigar Week is in September. So this was like in June, and we literally rented out an empty space. I mean, empty, white walls, boring space. Like, it looks like a warehouse. Rented that out, painted the walls, added art, added furniture, like literally did everything. We rented it for 30 days and did a 30-day like pop-up.
Damn.
It was just everything. We had a door built that had like the little secret, like, where you open it, like you own to the eyes.
Right.
So like
the speakeasy.
Yeah, it's a speakeasy. So the first week we only had you had to have an invitation. You had a password. Come to the door. You don't know.
Oh man.
Getting in. So it was just like, so it's like things like that, and no one's ever done a 30-day pop up in this space. So it was like, for us, it's like, it's just all about being creative, being original, and being trendsetters, really.
Y'all definitely doing that.
So at this point, I mean, in the States, there's probably about, 15 other cigar weeks now in other cities that people have kind of like come and, popped up or whatever. But Dubai Cigar Week, Dubai Cigar Week, we only did one. So in 2017, I believe it was, I was brought out to Dubai to do my She Smokes Too event. Some people out there, saw what I was doing online. It's like, hey, we want to do it here. Can we bring you out here and do one here? We went there. It was amazing. Like, it was amazing. Just amazing. And it was cool because, like, sometimes when you travel, you don't get the full experience unless you're with someone that is native to that place. You don't get the same experience. So, like, to be able to go there and, like, actually hang out with people that are actually from there, it's just a totally different experience. But anyway, so went there, did that, and then pretty much went back like a few months later and did Dubai Cigar Week. And so again, this was a week long in Dubai, like went out to the safari, went out on a yacht, like did all kinds of really dope things, had a bunch of people from the States come over. And that was fun. So we haven't done one since, simply because the logistics of it were it was just a lot. Like, it was just a lot.
I can imagine.
Yeah, it was a lot.
So
yeah, it was fun, but
You got off the plane smoking that cigar?
Huh?
You got off the plane smoking the cigar? Like,
man, yes.
Yeah, bitches. I'm here.
and let me tell you real fast, and I don't want to take a lot of time. I don't know how much time we have left, but one of my most memorable moments smoking the cigar, like, period, right? Yeah. So this was Dubai. This was actually my first trip to Dubai. This was before the week. So my first trip there, they had me staying at this hotel, really beautiful hotel. Actually, I stayed at 2 hotels that time. The first time, it was so cool because I went and, like, I guess the hotel had decorated my room. My name was on the bed with roses, her aficionado, like, on the bed. And I'm like, I'm in Dubai. I'm in the Middle East. Like, what? Like, this is crazy. Like, it was just surreal. So anyway, so we went to the next hotel, because the other event was at the across town. So anyway, they had me at this second hotel. So I'm staying kind of like near like one of the mosques, and so over there they have there's like a song. It's like a prayer call, basically. Mm-hmm. There's a name for it, but I can't remember what it is. But it's like a Islam prayer call, and so they literally play it like all over the city, like on the speakers. And so I remember like sitting on my balcony, like the event was about to start, and I was just kind of like relaxing, before I started getting ready and things. I was sitting on my balcony, like smoking my cigar. I'm like probably 50 floors up or something, and the song just like comes on, and I'm like, this is like surreal. And the song was just so beautiful. And like that moment, I'm overlooking Dubai, like, and I'm here and I'm working, like I'm paid to be here. I'm not just here on vacation, like I'm actually getting paid to be here to do something that I love. Like, it was just surreal. And so that's
a victory.
Yeah,
that's a victory lap.
So y'all didn't ask for my favorite moment, but that was like the most memorable favorite moment smoking a cigar like ever. So I'm waiting to top that now.
So what's a funny moment?
Funny moment?
Yeah.
Oh gosh.
I'm about to say, who got sick and threw up on somebody?
I gotta think about a funny moment. It's probably so many. Yeah, I gotta think about that one.
So what's the longest a cigar has lasted you?
Oh, like a single cigar?
Yeah.
Probably about 90 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had gone to an event of one of the cigar manufacturers, and like when they do these events, like they'll bring like special unreleased cigars, and so one of them had like, it was like 11 inches long or something like that, and so I mean that lasted like all freaking day, and I probably didn't even finish it, to be honest with you, but yeah, about 90 minutes.
Dude, you had a foot hanging out your mouth.
Yeah. Yeah. But it was a thin cigar. It was a Lancero. So it was thin. It wasn't like one of the big, larger gauge cigars. I don't really smoke those. It's a lot.
So what's important? Is it the tobacco inside or the wrap? Like, if you get somebody that give you like a good wrap, evenly wrapped, does it matter what's inside still, or is it?
Yeah, it definitely matters what's inside. I mean, you obviously. So first of all, I mean, the tobacco that is inside is going to tell you how the cigar is going to smoke, because the construction of it is very important. And if it's not rolled well, or if it's not made with tobacco that has been aged well or properly, then it's not going to be as enjoyable as smoke. I mean, the wrapper is important as well, but it's definitely what's inside for sure, for sure. Yeah, but I mean, but I think that like once you get to a point where you just know cigars, like I'm listen, call me what you want. I'm not smoking any and everything. I'm just not going to do it. I'm not even going to waste my time. I'm not going to waste my money.
That's standards.
You know, I know what manufacturers make really great cigars. You know what I mean? Every now and then, you know, a cigar will come about that, you know, I just try. But for the most part, I mean, you pretty much know who's going to make the good cigars. And they're going to be consistent. Do you know what I mean? Like, they're going to be consistent, so you can close your eyes and pick one, and it's going to be a good smoke.
So, no event, not working. What's your reasoning for sparking up?
It's relaxation.
Well, how you ain't fired up now? We on this thing. We've been on this thing almost out. You ain't fired up now.
Well, I'm at home.
Oh, you don't fire up at home?
I'm at home. No, I don't smoke. I have a daughter, so I don't smoke.
Oh, okay.
At home. Yeah. I have a rule. I don't smoke at home, mainly because one, I'm just not going to smoke in the house anyway. But two, because when I smoke, like I have a daughter who's, like I said, she's 6, so she's all over me. So I don't like the.
It's
I don't
too
like
heavy.
her smelling it. I don't I don't do that. So yeah, I don't smoke when I'm at home.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
That is I want to say, like, I was looking for somebody of your knowledge for a while since we started this. We were a year in on this yesterday.
Day before
yesterday, so we was a year in. And cigar lifestyle etiquette, whatever you gonna call it, something I've been looking for. And I think I hit you up like in October, November. But the crazy thing is, I had put in cigar, like I put in the search, I put in cigar.
Okay.
And you were the first black person, black female on the list.
Yeah.
And that's why I contacted you.
Yeah.
And I just thought that was so dope. And then I just read what you did, what you've done, and I stayed in contact. I wasn't stalking your pictures. Like whenever you post them, like I think you did a party with Jesus was just walking through. He wasn't even performing.
Right. Yeah.
And that's why I kept hitting you up, because there's a lot of people that want to get into cigars that I know personally, and they always say the same thing, almost like wine. Like I don't know where to start at.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I'm like that wine. I don't know where to start at. You know, give me some liquor, and as long as I get to the bottom of the glass, I'm good.
Mm-hmm.
But I just thought that you had something different, especially because you were doing Atlanta Cigar Week, which means you have other people looking up to you instead of just saying you got a store. You know what I'm saying? If you got a store, it's like, all right, people might go there. But if you're hosting a week event, like you have to know something.
Yeah.
And I think that is so dope from a young black female to hold a lane, to
own that space. Yeah, indeed.
Yeah. I think that's dope. So check this out.
Thank you.
We got this thing called a time capsule, right?
Okay.
So time capsule is, we got 5 things, and you're gonna dig up the dirt. You're gonna dump them 5 things in there, and 100 years from now, you're gonna dig up the dirt and bring them back.
Okay.
Make sense?
Yep.
Give me 5 smoking songs.
5 what?
Songs dealing with, like 5 smoking songs. 5 smoking songs. It doesn't matter the genre.
5 smoking songs.
That you just.
Okay.
Brain frying.
No.
Hey, get that Wi-Fi straight. That Wi-Fi.
God, what is the name of the song? I got Scotty. Scotty's calling me. I'm in the zone.
Oh, Fabo. I'm in the zone.
Yes, that's one.
Scotty's calling me.
That's hard. I don't know.
Yeah, that's the whole point of the question. See, you
God.
answer 5, and my brother, me and my brother answer 5 too to help you get along. That's what time capsule's for. So keep thinking.
I got one for you that you probably haven't heard, and maybe you have.
Yeah.
There's a song called "Full of Smoke" by Chris John. It's an old Rockefeller, like I think they did an album, but they probably didn't do an album. But this one song, oh my God,
Full of Smoke.
It's amazing.
It's good.
It's amazing, and it's called "Full of Smoke."
Full of Smoke. You got to listen. it's like on one of the all-time most favorite songs of all time.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna listen to that when I get off of here.
Yeah, it's a set of twin brothers, Chris Jones.
Chris Jones, okay.
Jones.
Chris Jones.
Jones.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I don't know any smoking songs.
I was listening to Do or Die today. From Smoking Ride with Me.
Yeah.
I remember that.
Yeah.
Dang, I don't know any.
Dro in the Wind with CeeLo and Trick Daddy. We just gonna help her.
Yes, the Dro in the Wind. Put the Dro in the Wind.
Dro in the Wind, Trick Daddy and CeeLo.
I'm from Florida, so I know that one.
Okay.
And I went to FAMU, so that's what we used to in college.
Indeed.
HBCU, FAMU, shot them out.
Any rattlers out here?
SC. Say Bulldogs. SC State Bulldogs.
SC State.
Oh, that's where y'all went. Okay.
That's where he went.
Okay. Nice.
I went to go fight for my country.
I salute you. Thank you for your service.
I was joking. I didn't say that for any purpose.
Yeah.
No.
I mean, you can put. Is it just smoking or getting high? Because you can put Styles P on it because I got high.
Well, Dro in the Wind is definitely not about cigars.
Yeah.
Well, none of these are about cigars. They're all about.
But I'm telling you, Full of Smoke. I want to play it now, but I'm not going to. But I want to play it because it's a whole vibe.
Really?
Oh my god! Oh man!
It's ours. Get to the meat of it.
See, now I have to hear it.
Yeah, skip to the meat of it. If you two say something, well, fuck them. They're not paying us anyway.
It's not gonna sound right. I want her to hear it where she can hear the quality of the song. I don't want to play it on here.
Oh,
because it's not gonna give the same vibe.
Let her hear it.
I'm gonna listen to it. And then I'm gonna DM you my opinion about it. I might smoke a cigar to it.
That's why I say let her do it now, because then she won't smoke because she in the house. If she hear that shit, if she by herself, she about to run. Like that shit. I like that last T.I. joint with Colonel Loud, that California joint. You know what I'm talking about? It's T.I. and the dude named Colonel Loud.
I can't think of that one. You got Women Weather Weed with Dre and Kendrick. That's a good one.
Oh, Mary Jane. Rick James.
Oh man. There you go. That's two strong ones.
What's it called? If that's my Mary Jane. Jeez, my
I feel like even though Tennessee Whiskey is about whiskey, Tennessee Whiskey is a good smoke song.
Really?
Tennessee Whiskey.
Yeah.
You heard Kiki Wyatt sing it?
No.
You never listen to Kiki Wyatt sing Tennessee Whiskey.
She didn't do this podcast to have homework, huh?
Yes,
I like it.
Yeah, Kiki Wyatt. Before this might have been 3 babies prior. You know, Kiki on number 11.
11, they
She
said.
got mad kids. Oh my god.
Yeah, like her vocal, all she got is a uterus and vocal cords.
Man, that's it. I'm like, shit, I got one kid and I'm stressed out. Oh gosh.
2 more songs that we can get out of this. Two more songs.
Help me.
What are you playing? What are you playing at your events?
There's probably a DJ. She's not playing the music.
I got a DJ. I don't know. They play a variety.
I think you gotta go old school. Old school songs. Diamond in the Back, Curtis Mayfield. That's a good smoking song.
I was actually gonna put that on your preview. You seen the little flyer I made?
Yeah.
I was gonna put that as the background, but that dude that I put on there, he's from Decatur, so that's why I put him on there. But I was gonna put Diamond in the Back on there.
Diamond in the Back is a good smoke song. Mm-hmm. And then I'll say For the Good Times, Al Green.
Yeah, Al Green, For the Good Times.
That's
what
just
like
For
the Good Times. I don't think I know that one.
You'll know it if you hear it. It's Al Green. You've heard it.
If I hear it, I probably know it.
You went to FAMU and you in Atlanta. You've heard it.
I probably did. I'm sure you're right.
Okay, so this has been amazing. Like, we got through an hour pretty quick. I didn't even realize that it was an hour already. So the time capsule is kind of how we we got a final call. Final call is just your moment. You can plug whatever you want to plug. You can be motivational. You can curse somebody out. It's just your chance to, we walking out the bar.
Okay.
So this is just your moment to do whatever you feel like doing.
Yo, dirty motherfucker.
Sure. Well, first of all, thank you guys for having me. I love what you guys are doing. I think it's great. I always applaud people that are being creative. But aside from that, I mean, like I said, as far as cigars are related and what I do, like I said, I'm always just kind of trying to be inclusive. I welcome any and everybody. So, if you guys end up following me and seeing the events and things like that, people are always welcome. There isn't a specific person I'm looking for. Like, I want people who are just positive people who want to meet great people and be in really great company and share in something that I love. I love spirits. I love cigars. I love great music. I love food. All of these great things. And, if there's anyone that's watching that is interested in doing what I'm doing, I just say, like I said before, just, be yourself, be creative, bring something new to the table. It's great to be inspired by someone. And this is obviously with any field. It's great to be inspired by people. But make sure that, you're a first-rate version of yourself versus a second-rate version of someone else. Once you start to emulate other people, you're always going to be compared to that person, which isn't really a good thing, So I just say that, but otherwise I'm on Instagram, Herficionado. I'm on Facebook, Herficionado. You can follow Atlanta Cigar Week as well. So I have some of my other stuff there. But yeah, that's about it. Oh, and I'll be in Orlando April 8th for a festival out there. I'm having a She Smokes 2 event there at the Amway Center, which is, I think, I know where the Magic
plays.
Yeah, so that's on the rooftop of the Amway Center. I'm also in Indianapolis March 19th at a lounge there. All this stuff is on my Instagram. So
Indeed, and we'll check it out.
Thank you.
Carolina Dirt, what you got for the people, man?
I'd like to tell her thank you. Like I said, I think I hit you up October, November. Only reason I hit you up because somebody put that in my head, find somebody with cigars. And when I went through the list, you was like the first black person, first black female, and I just clicked on it and I saw that you had been doing stuff, and I just feel like I just felt like that was dope, and I was always hoping that we could get to this spot early. Yeah. But I totally appreciate you. Like, we opened up conversation after that, where we was able to get you on here. I don't know how you feel about this episode. We definitely want to have you back.
Yeah, absolutely. I had a good time here. Thank you.
Yeah, we got to make up for the intro because usually it's not that effed up.
Technical things happen.
Yeah.
Hey, we got through it. It's all good.
Yeah, I'm like on my fourth drink in an hour. But I really do appreciate you, strong black woman, doing something that's meaningful in the city and is being felt in Dubai.
Hey, that's dope.
You're giving. I don't know if you thought about going to high schools and middle schools and telling young girls, young black females that they can do this, find their own lane. If you haven't, I hope that goes into your, that goes into who you are as a person. But I appreciate it.
Definitely, thank you.
I really want you to come back.
Absolutely.
When we get off, stay on for a second. When he closes out, just stay on for a second.
Okay. And, all right. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Octavia, Herficionado. I got that out. I didn't even stutter.
I ain't said it yet.
I appreciate you. I appreciate what you're doing. Kind of to echo the sentiment of my brother. Like, I think we grow up with so many limits and so many borders and so many people telling you that you can't do something or it doesn't seem right for you to have an interest in something. So that's the most beautiful thing about this particular conversation, is that you are in a lane that you created for yourself that wasn't designed for yourself. Absolutely. And it gives people, power. It gives people perspective. So that's my final call, man. Do something different. You know what I'm saying? Do something and don't be afraid to do it. Be unapologetically you, and you will be able to stand on your laurels and be successful and bring people along with you. So that's what's going on. This is the Bottom of the Bottle podcast. Thank you again, Octavia, at her aficionado on IG. Yeah, like, share, subscribe, all that internet type shit that y'all be talking about, man. This was dope. I'm glad that you stepped in to learn something with us, and y'all have a really good night, man. We appreciate y'all.
Thank you.